going on a first date. I'm not going to overshare. I'm going to say, here's my financial situation, my past trauma, what went wrong in my other relationships.
I would actually really appreciate that, though.
And
I'm not
the other
gonna
team
lie.
appreciated that too.
Communication's really good if you're trying to work together. However, if this is with your opposition, it's probably not what you're wanting to do. So even though I loved the analogy, it wasn't very good. Ash, Lulu, and Rumble have been banned away, though, as we jump into our HyperX Champ Select, and it is going to be the Nautilus as the final ban after the Orianna and the Ryze. I do like the Ryze being taken away. I think that champion is completely broken, but is the Azir actually going to be picked? That's my question.
It has been nerfed, and we've seen some teams still banning it, some teams deciding to pick it away. Vicla could play the Azir.
He does like it. I don't know whether I like him playing it, but he does like it.
Okay, I didn't like anything Vicla played in his first series.
Yeah, true. All the way he played it. But we'll just have to see whether he is leveled up moving into their next series of the tournament. The Vi has been picked. This is the perfect time for Raptor to go towards his Nefiri. Okay. We saw it hovered all series in the last one, but I think this is actually a decent angle for it. Instead, looking at a monkey. Yeah,
I mean, Wukong is also just good. So,
yeah, true.
Xin also good. This is the more standard game on jungle drafts where you just blind pick a Sundered Sky jungler. But this is the interesting one with Karma being picked. So it's only been picked once here at first stand, but it's been banned an exceptional amount.
And it was Kellin that played it, I'm pretty sure.
It's one of the sleeper OP champions I feel like must be dominating in scrims because we haven't seen it really that much globally, except here at this event, it's been almost permabanned. So really looking forward to seeing if Diable and Kellin can dominate something bot lane with Karma.
I do think that it's also really good early in Fearless Draft, right? Because it pairs exceptionally well with Ezreal and Sivir especially, and you can guarantee to get one of those, right?
Yeah.
They are going to pick away the Varus, though, on the side of Team Secret Whales. As Dire thinking about the Rakan, I think Rakan is really difficult to play when you're looking down the barrel of a pushing lane.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think one of the reasons Karma is probably such high prio is because it is going to get pushed on basically everything.
True.
So at the end of the day, I think they want to just be able to start a team fight or support a gank. So I understand picking Rakan on 3 here. I want to say Karma's also really good with champions like Xin.
Yep.
Xin is really good with enchanters. I think it's an underrated aspect, and it's just the Karma Ezreal. It's the classic.
Yep, they could pick whichever one they wanted, whether it be the Ezreal or the Sivir. Going with the Ezreal this time around gives Diable a lot of independence. The young man able to go anywhere he would please. The Vi will follow him, though, so we'll see whether Hizto can get on top of this 80 carry, this young man. But next round of bans to come on through, and we're looking at top lane and mid for both teams. Very interesting that in a game 1 of a best of 5 in Fearless, we've seen both of the bottom lanes fully locked down. It's not often what you see. It's normally solos and jungle, or like a cheeky OP or something like that on the bottom side of the map, like a Bard or something. But it's not often that we see this. Often later in the drafts that you'll see the bottom lane locked away this early.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of time you're waiting for support counterpick, but I think that's why the Karma changes this draft just a little bit.
Yeah.
I like the sneaky Volibear ban there by BFX. They were doing their research, looking at the champ pool of pun and saying, wait a minute, this thing is weird. I don't want to play against anything weird. Let's get rid of it.
Not dealing with it. It does make some sense. That's all right. K'Sante going to be taken away from Clear. Clear is a man with a decent champion pool, but I have to say that his Rumble and K'Sante are easily his most feared champions. So good research being done here.
See the Korean Dokla?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Like, he was actually, so the matchup between Clear and Thanatos was some of the best league in Challenger a few years back.
Oh, interesting.
They were the 2 best players by a country mile, right? DRX versus DK was like the big matchup down there. Clear didn't find quite as much success when he made it to the LCK, and Thanatos, of course, just left the country. Yeah. So we never really got to see too much of it again.
Still hasn't won the LCS.
Not quite.
Yeah, Cloud9. They can pull it together.
I reckon they did look all right. Although, do we want to talk about the America's Cup, or do we
no.
Okay, we'll
I think we should talk about First Stand.
Okay, let's do that.
First Stand is great.
Mel is going to be banned away here. Vicla already showing that one in their previous series, and the Renekton is going to be the lock-in. This is one of Clear's favorites as well. Sometimes you just can't ban them all.
Yeah, and they did a good job to set it up with the Gnar ban as well as the Volibear ban. So 2 protect bans to then blind pick your top laner, and I don't necessarily think you have a good counter pick to Ahri, but Vicla will at least get to see the entire team comp before he decides to lock it in. And we'll see what Pun ends up going against the Renekton. Usually you want to go with some type of a neutralizing pick like an Ornn or a Scion, but if he goes Gwen, that's a lot of squishiness and a lot of damage, and he's going for it.
Yeah, you can fight fire with fire, and this is scary. I mean, if it's going to work, then it could be Team Secret Whales really running away with this one. But the Annie for Vicla is going to be locked away. Does feel like Vicla has gone back to a little bit more of his utility ways. He was playing a lot of carries, finding a lot of success in the LCK Cup, but it wasn't a great start to first stand. So I think, you know, back to it, throwing bears at people and seeing whether Diable can carry the game in the end. Pretty balanced drafts on both sides, but honestly, if you turn the nameplates off, as you say, kind of like how Team Secret Whales' comp has came together at the end with the amount of damage that you have on top of a lot of snap engage.
And a lot of abilities to flank and split push. So there's a lot of good things going on. Have you ever called it the Viclani?
No.
I think it works.
Maybe today we can start calling it the Viclangy.
Yeah.
Oh, I said Viclangy. And that doesn't sound right. That just sounds like something noisy falling down the stairs.
And then Annie.
If he does lose a lot, then perhaps we can go with the Viclangy instead. It can be a bit of a clanger.
Will he give up first blood again? Find out soon.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. But ladies and gentlemen, one of these teams will be making their way out of the tournament. The other one stays alive. We'll see whether Team Secret Whales can make a dent in BNK FEARX here in game number 1. But we have to say, up against BLG, they didn't look too bad, going all the way to 5 games. The last draft was something that I would prefer not to talk about again. But there was certainly some moments for BNK in their series, despite the 3-0 on the other side of the rift. So I think we're expecting BNK to be the favorites here. Team Secret Whales might have some secrets up their sleeves.
And that's the hope. We know how well CFO did last year. This team qualified from the same region, even if they are a full Vietnamese team. So they definitely have aspirations of doing well on the world stage. Winning domestically is not enough for them. And it was probably just a demoralizing 3-game series that they played against G2. For what it's worth, G2 did a lot of discussion about their ability to beat jet lag, etc.
Yeah.
But their time zone is 4 hours different, and they took one flight that was direct to Brazil. You know how long the travel day was for TSW? It was like 35 hours. Yeah. So if anyone is going to use the jet lag excuse...
I did the same trip, by the way, that BNK FEARX did, and I would not recommend that on my to my worst enemy. It's actually just the other side of the planet. So it's a tough one.
They've had a couple of extra days to recover.
Honestly, we're on about the same timeline. Korea and Vietnam are very close. It's like it's just one over. So the travel would be about the same between the two squads when all is said and done. Having a look now, though, we can see that the Karma has push in the bottom lane. Jatt, who would have thought?
And they're also starting Sweeper, so they're trying to make sure they have full control of both pushes.
Yep, and live on patch 2606, check out the Warhound Senna. Portion of the skins proceeds will be shared across the lolesports teams as well, so you're going to be supporting all of the teams at the same time if you pick up a cool skin. Not too bad. That's all right. Vicla throwing some damage towards Dire here in this mid lane as well. I have a habit of reading the screen, by the way, Jatt. I just want to let you know. I've made this mistake many times with players like Yehu, who has a K at the start of his name. I commentated him for about 2 years. Silent. I still call him Kyehu sometimes.
That's understandable.
So if I call Dire in this game, I promise it's just my brain not working.
Yeah, and all of Worlds he was called Dire. But we know he...
And now we've figured it out.
Actually, it's Dire.
Maybe it was my fault.
I think it was your fault.
I was just reading it this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, dearie me. Well, I apologize in advance to everyone from the LCP that might be a little bit frustrated if I do make that mistake. All right, and we'll forgive you for calling BNK FEARX BFX as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the... As we're watching these lanes trade back and forth, like, D-Ray versus Dire is one of the less offensive requests. I think Yahoo, the K is silent. That's just trolling, man.
His name's not Yahoo.
Can't just say Yahoo.
Yahoo.
I mean, you're still saying the K is silent and putting a K at the start of your name.
Yahoo's like a word. That would be so good if that was his name.
It's like if Pun was called Un. Like,
true.
I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't want to, but I would still have to.
Yep. It was ADD back in the day as well, and you're supposed to pronounce it Ed.
Okay,
that's what he wanted, and it was capitalized. It looked like an acronym. That one was very difficult.
His BDD was also in the league.
He was. I don't know whether they were playing at the same time. I know ADD in the LCK was playing for MVP in about 2018, so quite some time ago, because that was back at OGN. I remember when he was hanging out there. As Hizto having a look towards this top side of the map as we do bring it back to the video game momentarily. Clear has been lit on fire as well as Pun having a pretty good time in the lane.
Hizto has snuck around though. He's going to get spotted right now. See if he can get the gank off.
Yeah, Pun already getting these scissors out, and I don't even know whether the Vi was needed, but he's still going to throw down the flash. First blood goes over to Hizto. A great start here for Team Secret Wales.
Beautifully done by Hizto, and for any struggle that TSW has had internationally, it has not been Hizto's early game. This guy has consistently been able to get early kills. And remember, this is an elimination series, so it's very important that they get out to a good start. Winner will advance to play G2. Loser's going to go home. It'll be 2 series and out here at first.
Yeah, it's so much pressure between these two squads, and getting out to an early lead in a series like this can really alleviate a lot of that pressure. So this first game can be really important. We know there's been a lot of teams that have spoken about the importance of game 1. They've come into an interview and said, if we win game 1, we win. It doesn't even matter if we drop the game throughout the series. That will provide us with enough confidence to make this happen. And good charm there from Dire, as Raptor will take 50% of his health, but
he's trying to race
it's the commitment to the Raptors.
And this is all because Karma's invaded the jungle because they have bot prowess. So they're just really trying to force numbers on enemy Raptors. And Vicla also has stun up, so Hizto has to just get rid of it. This is a delayed punish for the gank that he did top lane, so nicely executed there. Everyone on BNK FEARX had to be involved in that play in order for it to work.
Yep. And when the cross map is we took a Raptor camp, then maybe the gank worked out quite well as Dire takes a bear.
Yeah, but as you can see on the bottom of the screen, like even though they did lose 3-0 to G2, the games were close 51.4% of the time. So what closest percentage is it's the other team not having more than 51.5% of the game's total gold, which if you math it out is usually like a couple thousand ahead.
That sounds pretty close to me.
Yeah, and the graphs back it up. They were close that entire time, even having gold leads.
Their closeness percentage was within the closeness percentage mark.
Yeah, it is. By like a 1/10 of a percent.
Is that like an infinite loop of closeness?
Probably.
It sounds really close to me. It's all right. BA taking a bit of damage here from Kellin, but just being frustrating as he's trying to get that wave to crash on forward. 100 gold the lead here for Team Secret Wales, so not too much of anything to report as far as that is concerned, but it does show that that first blood didn't really get them much of a lead and more mitigated the advantages that BNK already had put together.
And from the bot prio, you can see Raptor is just free hitting the Drake. So the first Drake is going to pretty easily go over to BNK FEARX, which I understand you have problems saying D-Ray versus Dire.
Yep.
I have a hard time saying BNK FEARX when the try code is BFX.
I know. See, isn't it? It took me 2 years. I'm so proud of myself for getting that one right most of the time.
Yeah, because they are BNK FEARX.
Yes.
So of the 5 letters that they could be, they picked those 3.
Yeah.
Arbitrarily.
Yeah, it's not very nice of them, is it?
It's very rude.
We've had some conversations about this, but ultimately, it's their choice, and it's okay. It's just 3 letters. We'll deal with it. And Vicla is also going to deal with this Ahri being a little bit frustrating. Both of them trading some electricity here in this mid lane, as once again, Hizto in the area.
Oh, Raptor revenge right here.
Oh, no. Stealing Raptors, man. Everyone knows that this is the way that you tilt him, and it's worked so far.
Yeah, timing really good on that one. Vicla didn't quite have ultimate up yet. Raptor also wasn't 100% sure that that was going to happen. Could have started red and gone to Raptors, but he wanted to try and full clear down, so it's gone. And Hizto has a very small window that he was searching for a gank, knows that it's going to be too late, and has to back away.
Yeah, also keeps himself invisible, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
they have an idea that he was there because he did just steal the Raptors.
They definitely want to steal the other Raptors now. It's a Raptor fight.
It is just about Raptors. It's clear. Throws down the Dominus here as Pun throwing some needles at the Crocodile. Does have to call the make in this wave just to make sure he's going to be okay, but I think that war of attrition was won by the Crocodile. We'll be able to get control of this wave and shove it forward. We'll see whether it's going to be first plate going his way. As Chance Corruption sidestep there by Kellin. Swift footwork as there's Diable going in with that arcane shift. Goodbye, and Eddie is just completely in no man's land. Diable even had the Mystic shot ready for him, as BNK will get their first kill of the game, and it is on the player you don't really want to give all the kills to if you're a Team Secret Wales fan, as Vicla looking for Dire here as well. He does have the Spirit Rush, so he'll be all right. But still, this bear is getting scary.
Yeah. classic Viclani play. Just
yeah, it's a really good
Viclangy. Whenever you
Why
can.
do I can only say Viclangy. I can't get my brain to do Viclani.
It's the Australian. I want to talk about the play we just saw, though, because all of this did end up happening because of the repeated pressure that Raptor is putting on the enemy Raptors. It means that Team Secret Whales always trying to defend the play. They were getting invaded in the jungle, and then once Eddie missed the ultimate, it gave Diable the window that he could shift over the wall freely, and they could just have the numbers advantage against the Varus.
And I'm pretty sure he reacted to the flash with the Mystic Shot, but it was very, very close to being at about exactly the same time as that flash going out. So pretty impressive stuff. Hizto going to be able to grab the first grub of the game here. Might actually look for a double, as there is Raptor making his way up. Steals that one away. Could be a fight for the third, but just getting one is normally what these players really care about. As Diable, throws out the ulti. Is there's the knock up, the flash from Raptor to turn this one around. Stun comes through onto the Annie, a cease and desist, and that's exactly what they want Raptor to do. D-Ray's going to be able to take him down in the end, and Clear is just getting kited, does find the stun, and takes out the Fox Lady, but he will pay for that with his life, at least after some blast cone shenanigans do come on forward. Does get a bunch of his health bar back, though. Why is Clear still alive? Okay, finally, he will be taken out. The Viclani not going to live, and it's a double kill going over to Pun.
And this is all because they had the numbers advantage. Eddie's paying for it on the other side of the map, by the way. Diablo's getting free plates. He's completely zoned off the wave, but that top fight was a 4v3. So I don't believe that BNK FEARX expected BA to be there on the Rakan with the spell book. And I'm actually surprised after the original fight went 1-for-1 that they kept chasing through the jungle, because that ended up costing them a few extra kills.
Well, there is another plate that Diable really wants to take here, but BA has made his way down towards this bottom side. He should be able to defend Eddie pretty comfortably standing over here, but it is going to be at least that plate going on over. So Diable is very rich, but let's have a look at this fight, because he was not there for this. Yeah,
Diable's going to be a problem. I mean, Raptor, very aggressive here, knowing his Annie's no ultimate, but knowing he has his Q3 up. They thought they could potentially one-shot D-Ray Atlus.
Thank you.
But then when the Rakan arrives, he's able to apply the extra shielding. And then Clear, I think if he just blast cones out towards Vicla, dashes away, goes back to base, he can TP back to his wave, shove it out. But instead, they decide to continue this all in. Part of this is, if they somehow win this fight, the game's over. Because they would have won a 3v4, and they would have zoned away the Varus on the bottom side. So I understand why you might greed for something like that, but it's still a huge play for Team Secret Whales.
Yeah, very big win. Does put them at about 400 gold in the lead, as we can see. And with the fact that it's the Gwen that has most of the money, that is the biggest deal, right? Riftmaker is now done. Like, Pun is going to be a huge problem in this game.
Yeah, and Pun's Gwen has been very good for him so far in this year. I know Raz had a nice play where he's very good at deploying in the right spots on the map on Gwen, especially when he has a small advantage like this. He has just burned teleport, though, as we have a fight for the Drake.
Yep, Crescent Guard does come out here as Raptor trying to keep himself alive. There is the Chains of Corruption coming on down. Diable, decent arcane shift, but he's still just going to get ulted by the Vi. The charm comes in as well. The quickness working out so well, and Eddie is going to put him in the ground. T-Ray just dancing around the team fight, but it's Raptor that goes in, finds the knock-up with the 3-talent strike, and Eddie will be able to take him down, but not without the rest of his team falling. There is a Varus limping away, but once again, BNK, were they fighting a man down? Never mind. No, there at least wasn't Pun in that fight.
True 4v4.
So it was an even one. Yeah, we're okay.
Honorable scrap.
An honorable scrap indeed.
But we've got a bloodbath on our hands. It's already 11 kills by 12 minutes, and these teams are willing to fly in. Diable's Ezreal with Flash Barrier thinks that he's going to be invincible, but there's an Ahri Vi. They can chase through both of the dashes, especially if you use one in.
Crazy.
It was insanity. He ends up kind of getting one shot on the tail end, but they do have to burn a lot through the barrier, through the Karma Shield, through the Karma Heal. It takes them a long time, and that gives Raptor time to kind of clutch it at the end of the fight. Nice job by Eddie there, stacking up and executing with the Varus Q to make it a trade. And the Dragon's still alive.
Well, we're going to go back to that one, see whether BNK can grab the double dragon from this one. We'll check out what the soul is going to be. As Pun here up towards his top side of the map. Clear can just do nothing as the Gwen will cut him down. And Pun, we were saying he was going to be a problem. Well, he definitely is.
That is insane. You can see the Coinbase gold grind on the left there as well. Raptor will be getting the Drake, so a little bit of Drake stacking early, but this is how you got to compete if your team Secret Wills. Get someone who's going to have a carry angle at the end, since the bot lane is completely gapped, in part thanks to the players, but also in part thanks to this Karma.
Yep.
So having the top side of the map is necessary in order to compete in this game.
I do think that a Varus will just generally be valuable, right?
Yep.
Later on into the game. Obviously, if you fall behind, you're not going to be doing as much damage, but you can heal deny, and you can also stun or snare with your Chains of Corruption. So there will be value. They won't have issues with damage when Pun is this massive.
No, I don't think so. I do think Kellin will probably build the Mikhails next, just in case Diable does get caught by
Bear comes down, and Raptor looking for a way in. Let's see whether he can get it. Audacious charge onto Dire, but he gets himself out. They thought they'd caught Vicla, but Vicla says, I have a bear, and I have a jungler.
Yep, you just got to use that anti-ultimate as much as possible. Okay, maximize its value. They're kind of down on pressure right here, but the Ahri TP is going to be able to catch that wave top. It's so hard for them to deal with this Karma Ezreal.
Yeah, it really does just, it kind of feels at the moment in this mid game that BNK just have more members on the map, but there are more of TSW here towards his bottom side, and Vicla is very much dead. Tibbers is going to get mad, so they may not have the greatest of times taking down this turret, but that is more money to Pun. And that is dangerous. Charm does connect here onto Dire, but the knockup's there from Raptor as well. And he has no ult. He has to flash to get out of the way. The audacious charge and Wind becomes lightning and becomes another kill for this Xin Zhao, who is also becoming a bit of a problem.
Damn. That looks broken.
What is Raptor even doing there? You know,
like Sundered Sky, red buff.
Now I'm understanding why there were Xin Zhao bans throughout the whole of yesterday.
Very understandable.
Yeah.
Inspired did get it in Game 5. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We get to see him fight another day. But Raptor kind of putting his mark on this game, because I think Hizto is going where he should. He's going where they're strong. But it appears now that both the mid lane and the bot lane, wherever they are deployed on the map, the players on those characters are struggling. So BNK FEARX taking a bit more of a lead here, breaking 3 outer turrets, also crashing the Rift Herald, puts him in a powerful position. He might have to flash out.
Yeah, he is immediately going to flash.
Hesitation.
I think not messing with Pun is a very good idea. And Raptor going to show him that respect, gets himself out the back of this grub pit. He's going to be, I believe, Vicla going home there, as Raptor realizes he's not allowed his Raptors.
It's just going to be so hard for Pun. He's going to be so strong, but it's going to be so hard for him to actually teamfight against Karma Ezreal. I think that's going to be kind of the story of this game, because Pun should be able to run over the Xin and the Renekton once he gets Dusk and Dawn, but it'll just be about how much work Diable and Kellin can do.
Well, Trisha Barrage is going to spot out that there are 3 people up here towards this top side of the map. It looks like Clear is just going to be able to clear out this wave, so TSW, they are trailing a little bit when it comes to gold, and I think that the way BNK has been playing around the macro movements here in this mid lane has just been, mid-game has been crisper than what we've been seeing from TSW, but they do have the win conditions. It has been put together. As now Vicla is just going to face check Hizto and says, I'll stun you and I guess it'll be fine. Pun now might be giving away a bit of money over to BNK, although never mind. The tower and the needlework doing absolutely enough to deter them from diving the Gwen.
Good little chunk they got. Were able to burn his Ignite. I was just laughing at Vicla. I don't know why it was so funny, because it was actually fine. He was completely safe. There's no reason he shouldn't take that blast cone.
He blast cone high-fived Vi
and
then
fine.
left.
There was, even if Vi is there, it's fine. So Vicla made the correct play. But
BA is, okay, that's every Mystic Shot landing and almost collects it mid-battle dance, but BA is going to be able to get out of there with the quickness actually employed. And this is problematic. Do have a minute until this Infernal Drake does come up, and that is sole point here for BNK FEARX.
Yeah, it's so difficult for them to enter space. And I also don't even know if they can safely trade an outer turret for a Drake, because this would actually be a situation where you would consider doing that unless, so if Pun can get enough gold to finish Dusk and Dawn then I would want to TP in and fight because the Serpent's Fang, Ghost Blade is a pretty good spike for the Varus.
Yep.
And then everyone else is pretty equal in items. They could be stronger in that fight. But I feel like if they don't have an actual advantage, since they don't have the setup against a Karma Ezreal, they'll take way too much damage trying to enter the pit. So this would actually be, even if it's sole point, unless they have a very clear advantage somewhere, I don't think this is something that TSW should try and fight.
Well, Raptor is going to try and fight. Just whatever's in front of him. See, he's very strong. Pun up towards that top side of the map. He's just going to have free reign. Takes down this outer turret. It's clear we'll try and catch that wave when it does get towards him. Smart, though, of him not to enter that lane.
Does he have enough gold for the Dusk and Dawn after that turret? No. He's waiting.
Time ticking down. He's teleporting, and he's got it.
Okay, let's see a fight. Let's see a fight.
Well, he's just going to teleport right on top of Vicla here as well. We'll see whether the Molten Shield movement speed's going to be enough. And with that Blast Cone, I think that it may not be, as the Drake already started here. Raptor's going to take that one down, and into the mist he goes. Hizto trying to get himself out of there as the quickness does tie up a whole bunch of BNK in that backline. And somehow Hizto will survive. Eddie looking to try and get himself out of there, though. And the Gwen was not quite big enough, ladies and gentlemen. BNK will take everything in the exchange.
Wow, that fight was on really slim margins.
Yeah.
BNK FEARX played that so fast. By the time we panned up to the Drake, it was already dead. The fraction of an inch with which Hizto missed the Q onto Vicla that didn't allow him to get one shot, I think almost baited Pun to then follow through. He'd already invested his TP. He thought he had the power spike, so they really wanted to fight, but they couldn't get through to the Gwen to actually support him because Pun was basically probably 3v1, 4v1 on the top side of this fight. Watching the start once again, doesn't connect the Q. That gives Vicla time to flash away. And then look, Varus, Rakan, Ahri, way too far away at the start of this fight, really leaving Pun 1.5 before.
Yeah, and also Hizto had to use his ultimate on a Renekton so he could flash away.
Yeah.
And I think that cease and desist is so incredibly important in these team fights. You saw BA get into that backline. He chummed up absolutely everyone. I thought that the setup was there, that Hizto was just a little bit too low to actually commit to anything, and therefore it didn't look as good as it could have.
Another TP.
Yeah, clear. Gonna have to slice and dice his way out. The needlework not quite finding the mark there as the grand entrance also goes wide. Clear, good footwork, but I think he should still be going down. Finds another slice, and the tick of the burn will be enough. So the Crocodile is now down, and now Raptor should be falling as well. Kellin trying to take Hizto for a walk as Vicla will finally join this fight, but it's not enough damage. Diable, he wants to be the one to be the hero here, as of course he's Arcane shifting forward, but it's a couple of good kills here for Team Secret Whales.
And they end up getting the Diable flash, which I think is really crucial. That's why he was playing so aggressively in the back end of that fight. That was very nearly, if they get one more kill, I think they go for Baron and can actually start pulling ahead in this game, but it just ends up being a rather effective counterpunch.
Yep. Was nicely done, and Clear is sitting at 4 deaths as well. This Renekton has not been having a great time, and that is another kill going over to Pun as well. So definitely good news there. Gonna have a look at how it all started.
Really good flank TP. I think the fight could have been a little bit cleaner, but another Vi punch barely misses. Watch this, whoop, right past Clear. I thought that Ignite wasn't going to tick, and it could end up being a tragic
I think it was
fight.
the last tick.
But I mean, looking at where Vicla TP'd into, way up there in the top lane, he's not able to join the fight until this moment. So it ended up being a pretty big numbers advantage for the majority of the fight for TSW. And Atlus, this game reminds me of day one of First Stand was one of the bloodiest days we've ever had.
Yeah.
It's because these two teams were playing. Like, it's because BFX was playing BOG and TSW was playing G2. I feel like these are the two common denominators for the bloodiness. They're the ones that just fight all the time.
And I feel like G2 is very happy to get down and scrap as well. If you do start it, and BLG need no introduction on that point as well.
This is the fighting group for sure.
It certainly is. And this is actually one of my favorite things about these two teams, because I feel like Team Secret Whales play a lot like how BNK used to. Right? This group of players came together last year, and of course they were exceptionally young. Diable still the youngest player here, right? But he was playing for an entire year before this, and that was where they built all of their synergy. But at that point, they were very like, let's fight over every single scuttle, you know? Like, let's make sure that if there are 3 people in an area, they're fighting. Like, that's what we have to do. Since then, the macro has certainly improved. They've been playing on tempo markers a lot more, but it just feels like a bit of a blast from the past with the way that Team Secret Whales plays the game.
Tempo markers just sounds like a smart thing to say.
It sounds fun, doesn't it? It's the first time I've used it. I'm glad you called it out because I'd like to talk about it more because I kind of like it. It's all right, Pun. Trying to look for a way in, but he gets slowed down. Clear on that backline as well. Taking a lot of damage, but it's Diable that's free hitting in this fight. And the mist had to wear off at some point. Diable looks for the point-blank charm, but it's not enough to actually take down this Ezreal. And it's Raptor that finishes a whole bunch of these kills. 3 on the floor here for Team Secret Whales. And could it just mean that it's Baron time for BNK?
It's a tempo marker. 3 of them are dead. Go for the Baron. They're doing the right thing.
Now I'm embarrassed by the tempo. Why do all of my weird things I come up with start with tempo, man?
I think it's a good name. Either way, Raptor's just a beast this game. It feels like every time you look up, he's got the Zen ult running, killing someone, and he's at full health in a team fight. This did look like a bit of a desperation fight because Team Secret Whales is always trying to retake the space. They're never getting a clean engage onto Diable or Kellin, so they're always starting these fights on Renekton and Raptor. And sure, they can do all the damage to Raptor, but that means Diablo's been free hitting for the majority of the fight. And even though D-Ray goes all in, it's just not enough. Unless they're going in together, they're never going to take this Ezreal down, and then the extended fight's always going to go to BFX.
And the flash point-blank charm was Captain Jack cleansed by Kellin in that fight. That was crazy. I looked down, I'm like, wow, nice cleanse, Diable, but no, he has barrier. It's just all Kellin, man. He's so good at taking care of the young man on that bottom side of the map who has now 3 items put together on this Ezreal. And yeah, this is Infernal Soul.
It's time to send it. They're going to send it.
All right, let's see whether Pun can keep himself alive. Already down to 50% health as the range advantage here is working out. Raptor feeling a little bit unperturbed. It's cease and desist. They do try and get into that backline, but already the Gwen is dead. Diable stays alive for such a long time, and this time Clear is getting some revenge because he's not the first one focused. The Ezreal is going to be their prize, but unfortunately, everyone else just kind of dies.
Yeah, you knew this was a situation where they had to send it. There is the priceless moment, the Infernal Soul for BNK FEARX. I think that's the end of the game, Atlus.
I think it might be. They are missing a bit of damage as far as these turrets are concerned because Diable did die, but I have a feeling that they may have enough. DRA will find a lot of damage on towards Kellin, but BNK splitting the damage here to make sure that they can just get as much as they can. I don't think they feel like winning at exactly this point, although DRA, he is certainly going to die. Wind becomes lightning, and Raptor's going to be able to take that one down. And I feel like we missed out on this Raptor yesterday, or the day before yesterday, right? We haven't seen the guy that really got them here throughout the LCK Cup. I think he had a bit of a muted experience against BLG. This is what we've come to expect from this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, at this point, stat padding exercise with the amount of engage they have, how difficult it is for TSW to get onto Diable, which we see right here. They do get onto him, but look at this. The Gwen dies before they even get the CC onto Diable. And by the time he's dead, Eddie, Hizto, it's literally just the Ahri.
They needed to save
Rakan
some kitchen
alive.
sink to throw at the rest of BNK, but unfortunately they were a bit tired after throwing that one at Diable.
I don't think there's really anything they could have done. If you don't kill Diable, he kills you.
Yeah.
If you go all in for Diable, then
would you say that
gets
it's the rock and the hard place?
Yeah.
That's where you're between that type situation. We've overused that quite a lot.
The rock.
Oh, they may just be able to kill Clear, though. That's finding a different way to go. He gets exhausted as well as the rest of BNK trying to make their way in. And Raptor, he is going to be able to slow down BA. Oh, back in once again. The Raptors! Raptors kills BA! Oh my goodness, it's a beautiful story as Eddie is also going to be taken down here. They take down his blast cone at the same time, and BNK, they will turn a loss of their Crocodile, as I think has been a bit of a thing throughout this game, into more winning, as the inhibitor in the mid lane is the first to go down, and the inhibitor turret on the top side is also going to leave the rift. And BNK, I don't think they're in much of a rush, but this is certainly feeling like some drain circling that they have begun.
Yep, 4v3, no bot lane for TSW. Let's see if they can do it.
Yep, see whether they can take this one down. This time they do have Diable, who does do a lot of damage to these structures as Raptor's going in once again. Crescent Guard comes down. True Shot Barrage does so much work here as Pun just pops like a balloon, and the flash forward from Raptor. He's tanking up both Nexus turrets at the same time. It's Diable. Arcade shifting into the fountain. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what this young man wants to be doing. And it's a quadra. Can he get the pentakill? He can, the penta on the fountain. As it is going to be the Nexus going down. That's a nice little victory lap for the young man, as the Nexus will fall and BNK FEARX go up 1-0 in the series.
2 pentas.
2 pentas in his first 2 series, yeah.
Oh my God, player of the game for me. He was 5,000 gold ahead, he gets the pentakill.
No, you don't just give it to the pentakill guy.
Yes, I do.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to give it to Raptor, I think, because I think he played pretty dang well, but it is now time for us to throw it back to the desk and see what they had to say about this difficult game for Team Secret Wales.
It was difficult indeed. They had the action going in the early game, but it was just not enough here. FEARX coming out on